Police spent months chasing graffiti artists in the city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. In January, authorities reached a solution. Public spaces were earmarked and the street artists were given a blank canvas. But their subject matter is hardly subversive. Pledges of allegiance to the new king, Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud.
We hope it will gain the admiration of the people of Jeddah and the king, of course. May God protect him, and we hope he visits us.
Adoration for the Gulf monarchies is genuine, says Abdullah Barbood, Director of Gulf Studies at Qatar University.
They really respect them, they love them. But when it comes to a point where these royal families do not evolve as much or reform as much, then you're going to have that difficult problem.
Such problems have erupted in Bahrain, where sectarian tensions exacerbate protests over basic human rights. Across the Gulf, younger generations are putting a strain on traditional politics, says Jane Kininmont from policy group Chatham House.
While they have very different views on issues like democracy and the role of religion, they tend to expect and to demand a greater say in how their politics and their society develops.
60% of the Gulf population is under 30 years old. There is a big disparity between the elderly Gulf monarchies and the so-called Twitter generation, says Abbas Alawati, a journalist based in Dubai.
The internet has given us this method of freedom of expression that has been unprecedented. A lot of Gulf states haven't been able to come to terms with that.
Economic pressures loom. Chatham House calculates that 3 of the 6 Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC states need an oil price of $100 a barrel to balance their budgets. Recent prices have fallen to half that. In Saudi Arabia, population growth means there's less revenue to go around. Again, Jane Kininmont.
One of the first acts of the new king on coming to power was to announce new public spending worth an estimated $32 billion. That's around 5% of GDP. It's a symptom of the short-termism of economic policy as rulers try to use economic policy to solve political problems.
Citizens are demanding more freedoms, from women demanding the right to drive, to bloggers like Raif Badawi in Saudi Arabia demanding more political freedoms. If the monarchies are to survive, they must evolve, says Abdullah Barbood.
The Gulf people do not look for a revolution. They're seen, especially when the revolution have failed in the other Arab countries. What they're looking for is gradual evolution of efficient government and bureaucracies that can deliver.
Observers say the speed of change is not keeping pace with the rapid demographic and economic changes sweeping across the region. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.